So I've gone ahead and machined the bulk of the drive plate out. It's just plain old machining. It wasn't, you know, you're probably all getting sick of seeing that. That's 6mm wide. I left it on about a 20mm diameter shank, you'd call it. In the end of it, it's got to have a piece of high-speed steel put in the end, like something very hard, so the ball bearing runs on it, pushes up against it. I really don't know how I'm going to get it flat yet in relation to this surface. But what I'm going to do is probably go in at about 3 or 4mm with a 3/8 end mill. Just going to center drill the first bit of it. Just makes it a bit easier on the cutter, I think. And then I'll worry about putting the high speed steel in after. This has got to have four or 5mm slots put in it as well. So yeah, I didn't bother showing you machining this part down. It was just a big piece made into a smaller piece. We'll leave it at that, and I'll try and cut a slither of high speed steel and put in there, and I'll Loctite it in and hope to Christ it works. Okay, I'll bring this up to speed a little bit here. So I've got the indexing head set up on the Cincinnati, obviously. I've done 2 slots, done them off camera to make sure I didn't screw up and to work out how to do it properly. I'm about to do the next one now. Worked it out off the print, so I've made mine 350 thou deep. I'm taking 25 thou depth of cuts, so it's a few passes in it, but that's alright. Oh, there we have it, another slot done. Fair bit of bead bearing to do yet, but I'll get this last one done and probably see you back at the lathe and we'll part it off. I've just been in editing part 3 of this build, and during the recording I did format the card, and what I've done, I've deleted all, not all of it, deleted the footage of putting this piece of high-speed steel in, and yeah, just deburring it and so on. So I do apologise that But honestly, you didn't miss much. All it was is I cut a piece of high-speed steel off with the grinder, Loctited it in with 680, and then on a piece of wet and dry and a sheet of glass was just rubbed the guts out of it until I got it flat. So that's all I done. So there wasn't really much, not really much missed. But you can see, I've used this a couple of times. You can see the indentation in the high-speed steel from the ball bearing. And that's where I did put it in back to front. And that was just one, like I'd done it up once and pulled it apart and realised I'd done it the wrong way around. So just doing it up by hand does apply a lot of pressure on that one point. So I found that pretty interesting. So anyway, I do apologise, and back onto the video. Oh, you bastard. Almost ready for the final assembly. So we've got a ball bearing. Well, these are the components. You got the arbor, drive plate, the what do you call it? What do you call that bit? Bloody chuck carrier. Had a mental blank for a minute. And the collar. So just Loctited the drive pins in. So I've got a piece of high-speed steel in there. That took Took a fair bit of work to put that in, I can tell you. As you can see, it's got some movement, so you get all the alignment. I'm going to put a touch of oil on this thread. I can find my bloody oil here. Put a touch on, put a leader on. Nice and tight. I do think I'm going to need a pin punch with this one for some reason. I bought some valve grinding paste and it's too coarse. I tried the finest on there, but it was just, yeah, it's a bit coarse. So a bit of fiddling around to get all these back to a dead smooth surface again, but I need to buy some of that micron stuff, I think. But anyway, that's what happens. So that's what it looks like when it's complete. Minus the chuck. But we have a chuck. Now this here I'm not really happy about. I may end up making this chuck carrier again, and when I can afford it I'll buy a chuck with a Jacob's taper on it, so, and remake the drive plates. I just don't like the idea of having the threaded one on there. I'm going to put a touch of red Loctite on this and lock it down with a bit of thread locker. But overall, I'm absolutely stoked the way this came out, and I hope I've done Nigel justice and haven't made it, Nigel done an absolutely beautiful job of his, way better than what I've done. But I hope everyone's happy. I hope Nigel's happy with what I've done with his plans. That's what it looks like when it's got the chuck on. But I'm going to put this in the tailstock of the lathe and put some thread locker on that chuck thread and rip it up bloody hard. So you can see it's got a fair bit of movement. Find it's solid again. Pretty cool thing, isn't it? Pretty happy with that. Anyway, I'm going to put in I'll just take it over the lathe and I'll quickly lock this down. Okay, I've drilled a 7.5mm hole, and it's definitely 7.5mm hole. I've got an 8mm ream, and I've got an 8mm end mill here. As John would say in double booth, it's slack wobbly piss. Nothing wrong with that fit, especially when it's blowing and pushing it back. That is a nice fit. And they're only cheap ass Chinese reamers. It's fresh off the straws. But I am really happy with that. There we go, it does work. Well, I reckon that was a pretty successful tool in the end. I will say one thing, I learnt absolute shitload making this. I learnt heaps. Yeah, different work holdings, how do you do your Morse taper angles with dial indicators on the lathe. That was a great thing to learn. So thanks very much, Nigel, for showing that. And just remind everybody, if you haven't got these plans, I'm sure you all know Nigel. Get in touch with him, give him a donation, and he'll give you a set of plans. If you can afford to give a donation, they are absolutely great plans. If I can follow them, anyone can. There is a couple of things I wish I had done different. I wish I had have put the taper instead of having a screw-on chuck. I'm not real happy about that. Like I said before, I may even make up I'll make up a new drive plate, I think. And when I can afford it, I'll buy a new chuck. And yeah, one with a taper, not a screw-on job. And this is only a cheap eBay, extremely cheap eBay job I bought a long time ago. And I reckon next time I've done it, if I make another one, these lines I did in the shaper, I'd put another row, like another one in between each one too. I'd fix up the indexing plate on the indexing fixture so we had more increments. But apart from that, the fit into the Morse taper is absolutely beautiful, spot on. And that's the only other thing I did. I bought some, thinking I was doing the right thing, bought some of this valve grinding paste, and that was the biggest screw up I ever done, I think. It's miles too coarse for doing something like this. I'm going to have to get some of that micron stuff, or the cool dudes use, because this is just too coarse. So after I tried it with the fine, well, it says fine, what does it say? Grade 1 fine. And I thought, oh, it's fine, it's good. You know what I mean? She ain't real fine, it's coarse. But it took and I had to do a lot of polishing to get the marks out. So still got good contact, but I think, yeah, I'll end up getting some better lapping compound. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that build, because I had a lot of fun building it, a lot of fun learning it, different techniques, and it was good. So I got to use the new lathe, the shaper, Cincinnati, and the mill drill. So I used everything I had just to make one tool, which is really good. I like that. So thanks very much again, Nigel, for supplying the plans. They are great. So there we go, guys. Another great tool in the shop. Finished, complete. And now I can ream some better holes. Stay safe, everyone, and see you later.